There are theories which suggest that the ancient Egyptians built many more great monuments than previously thought. The lost temple of Akhmim provides dramatic evidence to support this claim. Egypt is famous for the pyramids near Giza in the north. Visitors also flock to the expansive temple complexes in the south, at Luxor. But new evidence is suggesting that the Egyptians built on a colossal scale across the whole of the country. Central Egypt is little-known territory to tourists, and even to many professional Egyptologists.
This could be another major touristic destination in Egypt in the future.
Might this little-known area produce the largest temple ever discovered? Akhmim is located in central Egypt, 200 miles south of Cairo. Here there is evidence for a massive temple, but it is buried underneath the modern city.
It's very difficult for archaeologists to work on Egyptian settlements because, for one thing, if it was a good place to live in the past, it's still a good place to live and people are still living there.
One of the problems with Akhmim is that it is a living town and city that's grown up over millennia, and so the ancient core of Akhmim has been absorbed by the urban development.
But the development of the modern city can also be an advantage. The process of digging foundations can reveal the past.
Development is a double-edged sword, especially in Egypt. So when at a site like Akhmim they decide to build a post office in the 1980s and they sink some trenches, they come upon a magnificent statue.
In 1981, while digging the foundations for a new development, workers uncovered the base of an enormous statue. The statue was of Ramesses the Great, one of Egypt's most powerful pharaohs.
The height of this statue could be more than 180 feet. It was huge.
Only 60 yards away, another massive statue was discovered.
We are in front of the feet of the largest, the most complete, beautiful statue of a female lady ever made in ancient Egypt.
The statue is of Ramesses' wife, Merit-Amun. Many believe that she was the queen who found Moses in the bulrushes and brought him up as her son. The scale of the two statues are a clue to how big the temple may have been. But whatever other ruins exist are buried beneath the modern town. Archaeologists must discover what lies there without digging.
Egyptology is a very rigorous science because it doesn't just involve excavation, it also involves a great deal of analysis.
The expert's first clue is in the writings of travelers from over 1,000 years ago. They tell of a colossal site at Akhmim.
When the Arab travelers came to Egypt in the 9th century AD, and they explained that they came to visit the temples at the sunrise and they left at the sunset.
The sun had time to rise and set again before I finished exploring the ruins.
A second clue to the scale of the construction is that all temples in Egypt followed a similar plan.
Temples in ancient Egypt are the abode of the gods. They're the point where the divine realm connects with the human realm. In the architecture, they model ideas of the cosmos, and there's sort of a formal layout of ancient Egyptian temples.
As churches, mosques, and temples, even today, follow a prescribed standard layout, so did the temples of Egypt. So if archaeologists analyze a fully visible temple, they can apply this knowledge to the site at Akhmim. The Temple of Amun-Ra, 100 miles further south in Luxor. In analyzing the standard layout of Luxor Temple, archaeologists can base their predictions of where the rest of the site at Akhmim is buried. Mansour Bourek is a specialist in temple design.
I think the temple of Akhmim was bigger than this, but it has the same layout which we have now in Luxor temple.
A standard temple layout always begins with a long paved avenue. This leads to a massive gate flanked by two statues. And at Akhmim, this is where the statue of Ramesses would have stood. Inside is a courtyard. This would have been the location of the statue of Queen Merit Amun. But this is only the beginning. There are further courtyards, stretching 800 feet to the inner sanctuary of the temple. The layout of Luxor Temple can be applied to Akhmim.
I have an image of the site here on the computer.
By matching the locations of the Akhmim statues to the Luxor Temple plan, Dr. Wegner can estimate the true scale of Akhmim Temple.
A sense of the scale of the temple can be hinted at by the soccer field located in the upper right-hand side of the Google Earth image. You can see that the probable extent of this New Kingdom temple encompasses maybe 4 or 5 times the length of that soccer field. In doing so, you get a sense of, quite a massive temple.
Even without full excavation, by using this analysis, archaeology can affirm that the temple at Akhmim was built on a massive scale.
This could be the beginning of the temple, and the sanctuary should be under the houses here.
More excavation and development must be done before the extent of the temple can be revealed for certain.
We'll be able actually to discover the whole temple.
But one thing is clear: a new picture of ancient Egypt is being revealed. A larger and more developed country than previously imagined. A continuous band of development along the entire length of the Nile, not just at today's famous sites in the north and the south, but right through central Egypt too. Evidence of a civilization more impressive than had ever been thought. And the most successful ruler of this superpower was Ramesses the Great. Discoveries on the walls of one of the most impressive temples in Egypt reveal the dilemma that nearly destroyed his role as pharaoh. The story is revealed in the 8th discovery, the temple at Abu Simbel. From tombs to temples, the mysteries of ancient Egypt have enthralled the world for centuries. One of the most significant is also one of the largest. Fronted by 4 statues of Ramesses the Great, the temple is Abu Simbel.
The epitome of Ramses' ego, if you will, or Ramses' godhood, the spectacular nature of his achievements has got to be Abu Simbel.
The Temple of Abu Simbel is a key to solving the dilemma faced by every pharaoh: how to reign as both a god and man. Artwork on the walls tells the story of how close the great pharaoh Ramesses II came to failing in his mission. Abu Simbel is in the south of Egypt, near the border with modern-day Sudan. Hewn out of the rock are 4 giant statues, and every inch of the temple's walls are covered with illustrations depicting the triumph of the pharaoh. In 1871, when the adventurer and early Egyptologist Giovanni Belzoni arrived at the site, the temple was covered with sand. Belzoni set to work to remove the thousands of tons of sand, but every bucket he removed was replaced by yet more, sliding down the dune. On the point of giving up, he discovered a simple solution to the seemingly impossible problem. Wetting the sand would hold it in place. The plan was a success. After 4 years of struggle, he finally found the temple entrance and became the first man for centuries to walk inside. The temple at Abu Simbel was a monument to Egypt's greatest